am so glad that you are here to join us. My name is Jennifer Lanier. I'm the other artistic director here at Original Practice Shakespeare Festival, also known as OpsFest. We welcome you to our socially distancing Shakespeare that we're doing right now. Normally we perform all of our shows in the parks around Portland, Oregon, but not right now do we get to do that. We have, however, found a way to take Zoom and turn it into something besides the bane of all people who work in office jobs. Yes, we are using Zoom to actually do a little bit of art. All of our actors are performing today from their homes. And what we're doing is broadcasting that over to you, to Facebook, and also to YouTube. Tonight's show, depending on what coast you're on, is the tragedy of Richard III with the landing of Earl Richmond and the battle at Bosworth Field. Yes, people, that is the actual real full name of this play. And we're so excited to do this one for you. Now that brings me on to what is it about OpsFest that's a little bit different from some other companies and Shakespeare companies that you have seen? Well, one thing that is different is we tell you the full title of the plays of Shakespeare. That's the first difference. The next difference is we do not rehearse together. Actually, we don't at all rehearse together. No. Because why, you say? Well, they didn't in Shakespeare's time. Nobody had invented it yet. So what we do is we work on the skills that we have, and we work on those. We work on text work. We try to understand exactly what's going on with our characters. And this is how we go about it. Now, we also have a little helper that Shakespeare's people had, because I don't know if you know this or not, but they did about 6 plays in any given week, maybe 20 to 25 plays in a month. These people were the Netflix of their time, my friends, and they had to keep content going and going and going if they wanted to keep their audience. How do you do all those shows at once? Well, we use scrolls. These are fabulous little items, and you can sort of see there are some words written on my little scroll here. What I have are the words of my character, and then about 4 syllables before that, so I know when my cue is. That's how we are able to do so many shows in one season. This season, we will be performing 21 separate Shakespeare plays as we go along in our Will Fest season here at OpsFest. I'm so excited about this because, I don't know that anybody else does that. But at OpsFest, we are brave, and we will do whatever it takes to bring wonderful, beautiful, incredible Shakespeare to you. Also, something that's a little bit different from some of our other companies that are around the United States and in England is that we encourage our audiences to join with us in all the fun. That's right. We like for you folks to yell and cheer and boo. And you can't do that here because, well, you can, but we won't hear you. But what we do have is a comment section. Oh, that's right, folks. You have the opportunity to join in the fun with us by commenting. Now, we have some people who take care of that for us. As a matter of fact, today, who do we have up here? We have different company members who are taking care of comments for us. And I am looking at the little cheat sheet I have down there, which tells me who is doing what today, and I can't seem to find it. But I'm pretty sure that Sarah is going to be taking care of the comments on YouTube. And I believe Ajay is going to be taking care of the comments on Facebook. So we encourage you to boo when things are bad and cheer when things are good and, say silly stuff when it comes to you, because that's what keeps this show alive, is our connection with you. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the people who make this fine professional production happen and all the other ones that are going on this season. I want to make sure that I first thank our season sponsor, Ronnie LaCrute. Portland Theater is Ronnie LaCrute. That is for sure. I also want to thank our other sponsors, the Starseed Foundation, the Regional Arts and Culture Council, also known as RAC, and Advanced Gender Equity in the Arts, also known as AGE, and the Kinsman Foundation. These wonderful people have put money together to make sure that we can bring live Shakespeare to you right there in your little homes or in your camper van, as the case may be. Now, we also want to thank all the people who put ducats in the buckets, all the folks who put a few dollars in the buckets that we pass around during the summer. Oh, shoot, we can't do that either. How are we gonna? Right. If you will look at the top of your screen there, no, right there. Yeah, that's where it is. You will see a place that you can click that will allow you to donate to ops if you are so inclined. And let me tell you, folks, those $1 add up as much as the fives, as much as the hundreds. And we appreciate everything that you do because, well, frankly, we want Shakespeare to be accessible to as many people as possible. So if you don't happen to have anything extra, don't you worry about it. We're just glad that you're here to enjoy the show with us. Now, let's see. There are other ways that you can donate here. There's the text to donate. If you were to text OpsFest online to the number 44321, there's another way that you can donate. I know some of the young people that we work with in the company like that texting to donate part. Now, let's see. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Now, how do we keep all this mayhem together with this not rehearsing and using scrolls? And what in the world? Well, I'll tell you, we use something else that they used in Shakespeare time. Another piece of original practice is having an on-stage prompter. That's the one person who has the entire play right there in her hands. So if we completely go off, or if someone's Ethernet goes out, or if the sound gets wonky, she is going to come in and give you all something interesting and fun to take advantage of while we fix whatever technical problem is happening. And you are so lucky today, friends, because today's prompter is the member of our company who has been doing this work longer than anybody else here. She knows these plays backwards, forwards, and upside down. My friends, I want to introduce you to a prompter extraordinaire, the fabulous Bethy Oakham.
Woo! Awesome. Thank you so much, Jen. You are too kind. Hello, friends. It is so good to see all of you. Yes, even you. I'm so excited to have you here for Richard III. Like Jen said, commenting is the way to get involved, but I'm still going to warm you all up. So if you are watching us from your bedroom or your family room, why don't you give me a big cheer? Awesome. Oh my God, I could hear it from all over. And let's see, if you are in, or if you're outdoors, it's a little gloomy out, but I think it's not raining. If you're outdoors or if you are in your bathroom, let me hear a boo. Wow, okay. There will be some booing tonight for sure. So thank you for joining us. I'm ready. I'm so excited you're here. I'm so excited to get this started. So friends, welcome. We are about to do the tragedy of Richard III with the landing of Earl Richmond and the battle at Bosworth Field.
Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this son of York. And all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarums changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim-visaged war hath smoothed his wrinkled front, and now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking glass, I that am rudely stamped and want love's majesty to strut before a wanton ambling nymph. I that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time, scarce half made up into this breathing world. And that so lamely and unfashionably that dogs bark at me as I halt by them. Why I, in this weak, piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless it be to see my shadow in the sun and descant on mine own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove the lover, I am determined to play the villain and hate the idle pleasure of these days. Plots have I laid, inductions dangerous, by drunken prophecies and libels, dreams to set my brother Clarence and the king in hate of one against the other. And if King Edward be as true and just as I am subtle, false, deceitful, this day should Clarence closely be mewed up about a prophecy that says that G of Edward's heir the murderer shall be. Dive thoughts down to my soul. Here Clarence comes. Sister, good day. What means this armed guard upon your grace?
His Majesty, tendering my person's safety, hath appointed this conduct to convey me to the tower.
Upon what cause?
Because my name is George.
Alack, my lady, that is no fault of yours. He should then commit your grandfather's. What is the matter, Clarence? May I know it?
Oh, yea, Richard, when I know. But I protest as yet I do not. But as I can learn, he hearkens after prophecies and dreams, and from the crossrow plucks the letter G, and says a wizard told him that by G his issue disinherited should be. Ugh. And for my name of George begins with G, and follows in his thought that I am she.
'Tis not the king that sends you to the tower. My Lady Grey, his wife, was it not she that made Lord Hastings to the tower, from whence this present day he is delivered? We are not safe, Clarence. We are not safe.
Oh, by heaven, I think there is no one secure but the Queen's kindred.
I'll tell you what. I think it is our way, if we keep in favor with the king, to be her men and wear her livery.
I beseech your graces both to pardon me. His Majesty hath straitly given in charge that no man shall have private conference, of what degree soever, with your sister.
We know thy charge, Brackenbury, and will obey.
We are the queen's abjects and must obey. Sister, farewell. I will unto the king. Meantime, this deep disgrace in family touches me deeper than you can imagine.
I know it pleases neither of us well.
Well, your imprisonment shall not be long. I will deliver you, or else lie for you. Meantime, have patience.
I must perforce. Farewell.
Go. Tread the path that thou shalt ne'er return. Simple, plain Clarence. I do love thee so that I will shortly send thy soul to heaven, if heaven will take the present at our hands. But who comes here? The new delivered Hastings.
Good time of day unto my gracious lord.
As much unto you, good Lord Chamberlain. Well, you are welcome to this open air. How hath your lordship brooked imprisonment?
With patience, noble lord, as prisoners must, but I shall live, my lord, to give them thanks that were the cause of my imprisonment.
No doubt, and so shall Clarence too, for they that were your enemies are hers. and have prevailed as much on her as on you.
More pity that the eagle should be mute while kites and buzzards play at liberty.
What news abroad?
No news so bad abroad as this at home. The king is sickly, weak, and melancholy, and his physicians fear him mightily.
Now by St. Joan, that news is bad indeed. Where is he? In his bed?
He is.
Go you before. I will follow you. He cannot live, I hope. But must not die till George be packed up post to heaven. I'll in to urge his hatred more of Clarence with lies and steeled with weighty arguments. And if I fail not in my deep intent, Clarence hath not another day to live. Which done, God take Edward to his mercy and leave me the world to bustle in. For then I'll marry Warwick's youngest daughter. What? Though I killed her husband and her father, the readiest way to make a wench amends is to be her husband and her father. But yet I run before my horse to market. Clarence still breathes. Edward still lives and reigns. When they are gone, then I must count my gains.
Sit down. Sit down, your honorable lord, if honor may be shrouded in a hearse, whilst I awhile obsequiously lament the untimely fall of virtuous Lancaster. Thou bloodless remnant of that royal blood, be it lawful that I invocate the ghost to hear the lamentations of poor Anne, wife to thy Edward, to thy slaughtered son, stabbed by the self-same hand that made these wounds. Oh, cursed be the hand that made these holes. Cursed the heart that had the heart to do it. Cursed the blood that let this blood from hence. More direful hap betide that hated wrench that makes us wretched by the death of thee, than I can wish to wolves, to spiders, toads, or any creeping venomed thing that lives, if ever he have child, abortive be it, progenious and untimely brought to light, whose ugly and unnatural aspect may fright the hopeful mother at the view, and that be heir to his unhappiness. If ever he have wife, let her be made more miserable by the death of him than I am made by my young lord and thee. Avaunt, thou dreadful minister of hell.
Oh, sweet saint, for charity, be not so cursed.
Foul devil. For God's sake, hence, and trouble us not. For thou hast made the happy earth thy hell, filled it with cursing cries and deep exclaims. If thou delight to view thy heinous crimes, behold this pattern of thy butcheries. O God, which this blood mayst revenge his death. O earth, which this blood drinks, revenge his death. Either heaven with lightning strike the murderer dead, or earth gape wide open.
Lady Anne, thank you. I believe me, I feel your vengeance. It looks like we might have different cuts of your monologue. So Richard's cue is, "O earth, which this blood drinks, revenge his death."
Oh, I'm happy to interrupt here. Believe me, I hear these things a lot. Ah, sweet saint. Oh, did I say that already? Lady. You know no rules of charity, which render good for bad, blessings for curses.
What is my next line then?
Villain, thou knowst.
Aha! Villain! Thou knowst no law of God nor man, no beast so fierce but knows some touch of pity.
But I know none, and therefore am no beast.
Oh, wonderful! When devils tell the truth.
More wonderful when angels are so angry. Vouchsafe, divine perfection of woman, of these supposed crimes, to give me leave by circumstance to acquit myself.
Vouchsafe, diffused infection of man, of these known evils, but to give me leave by circumstance to curse thy cursed self.
Fairer than tongue can name thee. Let me have some patient leisure to excuse myself.
Fouler than heart can think thee. Thou canst make no excuse current, but to hang thyself.
Ha! By such despair I should accuse myself.
And for despairing shalt thou stand accused, for doing worthy vengeance on thyself, that dis unworthy slaughter upon others.
Say that I slew them not.
Then say they were not slain, but dead they are, and devilish slave by thee.
I did not kill your husband.
Why then, he is alive.
Nay, he is dead, and by Edward's hands.
In thy foul throat thou liest. Queen Margaret saw thy murderous falcon smoking in his blood, the which thou once didst bend against her breast, but that thy brothers beast aside the point.
I was provoked by her slanderous tongue, that laid their guilt upon my guiltless shoulders.
Thou wasn't provoked by thy bloody mind that never dreamt on aught but butcheries? Didst thou not kill this king?
I grant ye.
Dost grant me? Hedgehog, then God grant me too. Thou mayst be damned for that wicked deed. Oh, he was gentle, mild, and virtuous.
The better for the King of Heaven that hath him.
He is in heaven, where thou shalt never come.
Let him thank me that hope to send him thither, for he was fitter for that place than earth.
And thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yet one place else, if you will hear me name it.
Some dungeon.
Your bedchamber.
I'll rest betide the chamber where thou liest.
So will it, madam, till I lie with you.
I hope so.
I know so. But gentle Lady Anne, to leave this keen encounter of our wits and fall to something of a slower method.
Thou wast the cause and most accursed effect.
Your beauty was the cause of that effect. Your beauty that did haunt me in my sleep, to undertake the death of all the world, that I might live one sweet hour in your bosom.
If I thought that, I tell thee, homicide. These nails should rent that beauty from my cheeks.
These eyes could not endure that beauty's rack. You should not blemish it if I stood by it. As all the world is cheered by the sun, so I by that. It is my day, my life.
Lack night o'ershade thy beauty. Oh, thy day, and death thy life.
Oh, curse not thyself, fair creature. Thou art both.
I would I were, to be revenged on thee.
It is a quarrel most unnatural to be revenged on him that loveth thee.
It is a quarrel just and reasonable to be revenged on him that killed my husband.
He that bereft thee, lady, of a husband did to help thee to a better husband.
His better doth not breathe upon the earth.
He lives, that loves thee better than he could.
Where is he?
Here. Why dost thou spit at me?
Would it were mortal poison for thy sake.
Never came poison from so sweet a place.
Never hung poison on a fouler toad. Out of my sight, thou dost infect mine eyes.
Thy lies, sweet lady, have infected mine.
Were they were basilisks to strike thee dead.
I would they were, that I might die at once, for now they kill me with a living death. Those eyes of thine from mine have drawn salt tears, shamed their aspect with stores of childish drops. Teach not thy lips such scorn, lady. It was made for kissing, not for such contempt. If that thy revengeful heart cannot forgive, lo, here I lend thee this sharp-pointed sword, which if thou please to hide in this true breast, and let the soul forth that adoreth thee, I lay it naked to thy deadly stroke, and humbly bake the death upon my knee.
Oh,
Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry. It was thy beauty that provoked me. Nay, now, dispatch! 'Twas I that stabbed young Edward. But 'twas thy heavenly face that set me on. Take up the blade again, or take up me.
arise, dissembler. Though I wish thy death, I will not be thy executioner.
Then bid me kill myself, and I will do it.
I have already.
That was in thy rage. Speak it again. And even with the word, this hand which did for thy love kill thy love, shall for thy love kill a far truer love. To both their death shalt thou be accessory.
I would I knew thy heart.
'Tis figured in my tongue.
I fear me both false.
Oh, then never man was true.
Well, put up your sword.
Say then, my peace is made.
That shalt thou know hereafter.
But shall I live in hope?
All men, I hope, live so.
And if thy poor devoted servant may but beg one favor at thy gracious hand, thou dost confirm his happiness forever.
What is it?
That it may please you to leave these sad designs to him that hath most cause to be a mourner, and presently repair to Crosby House, where, after I have solemnly interred at Chester Monastery this noble king, and wet his grave with my repentant tears, I will with all expedient duty see you for divers unknown reasons. I beseech you, grant me this boon.
With all my heart, and much it joys me to see you are become so penitent.
Bid me farewell.
'Tis more than you deserve, but since you teach me how to flatter you, imagine I have said farewell already.
Was ever woman in this humor wooed? Was ever woman in this humor won? I'll have her, but I will not keep her long. What, I that killed her husband and her father to take her in her heart's extremist hate with curses in her mouth, tears in her eyes, the bleeding witness of my hatred by having God, her conscience, and all these bars against me. And I no friends to back my suit withal, but the plain devil in dissembling looks. And yet to win her, all the world to nothing? Ha! Has she forgot already that brave Prince Edward, her lord, who I, some 3 months since, stabbed in my angry mood at Shakespeare? And will she yet abase her eyes on me, that cropped the golden prime of this sweet prince and made her widow to a woeful dead? On me whose all equals not Edward's moiety? On me that halts and am misshapen thus? I do mistake my verse in all this while. Upon my life she finds, although I cannot myself, to be a marvelous, proper man. Albeit charges for a looking glass, and entertain a scorn or two of tailors to study fashions to adorn my body. Since I am crept as well in favor with myself, I will maintain it with some little cost. But first I'll turn yon fellow in his grave, and then return, lamenting, to my love. Shine out, fair sun, till I can have a glass, that I may see my shadow as I pass.
Have patience, madam. There's no doubt his majesty will soon recover his accustomed health.
If he were dead, what would be tied on me? If he were dead, what would be tied on me?
No other harm but loss of such a lord.
The loss of such a lord includes all harms.
The heavens have blessed you with a goodly son to be your comforter when he is gone.
Oh, he is young, and his minority is put into the trust of Richard Gloucester.
Is it concluded he shall be protector?
It is determined, not concluded yet. But so it must be if the king miscarry.
No, here comes the Lord of Buckingham and Derby.
Good time of day unto your royal grace.
God make your majesty joyful as you have been.
Saw you the king today, my lord of Derby?
But now the Duke of Buckingham and I are come from visiting his majesty.
What likelihood of his amendments, my lords?
Madam, good hope. His grace speaks cheerfully.
God grant him health. Did you confer with him?
Aye, madam, he desires to make atonement between the Duke of Gloucester and your brother, and between them and my Lord Chamberlain, and sent to warn them to his royal presence.
Would all were well, but that will never be. I fear our happiness is at the height.
They do wrong me, and I will not endure it. Who is't that complains unto the king that I, forsooth, love them not? Because I cannot flatter, and look fair, smile in men's faces, smooth, deceive, and cog, I must be a rancorous enemy. Cannot a plain man live, and think no harm, but thus his simple truth must be abused with silken, sly, insinuating jacks?
Who in all this presence speaks, your grace?
To thee, that hath nor honesty nor grace. When have I injured thee? Or thee, when done thee wrong, any of your faction? A plague upon you all. His royal grace, whom gods preserve better than you would wish, cannot be quite scarce a breathing while, but you must trouble him with lewd complaints, since every jack became a gentleman, There's many a gentle person have been made a jack.
Come, we know your meaning, brother Gloucester. You envy my advancement and my friends. God grants we never may have need of you.
Meantime, God grants that I have need of you. Our sister is imprisoned by your means. Myself disgraced, and the nobility held in contempt, while great promotions are daily given to ennoble those who scarce some 2 days since were worth a noble.
By him that raised me to this careful height, from that contented hap which I enjoyed, I never did incense his majesty against the Duke of Clarence, but have been an earnest advocate to plead for her. My lord, you do me shameful injury falsely to draw me in these vile suspects.
Oh, you may deny that you were not the mean of my Lord Hastings' late imprisonment.
She may, my lord, for...
She may, my Lord Rivers, who knows not so. She may do more than denying that. She may help you to many fair preferments, and then deny the aiding of her hand therein, and lay those honors on your high desert, which she may not. She may, I marry, may she.
What marry may she?
What marry may she? Marry with a king, a bachelor, and a handsome stripling too, which your grandam had no worse a match.
My lord of Gloucester, I have too long borne your blunt upbraidings and your bitter scoffs. By heaven, I will acquaint his majesty of those gross taunts that oft I have endured. I had rather be a country servant maid than a great queen with this condition, to be so baited, scorned, and stormed at. Small joy have I in being England's queen.
And lessened be that small God, I beseech him. Thy honor, state, and seat is due to me.
What threat you me with telling of the king? I will avouch it in the presence of the king.
Thou killedst my husband, Henry in the Tower, and Edward my poor son at Tewkesbury.
Ere you were queen, I, or your husband king, I was a pack horse in his great affairs, a weeder out of his proud adversaries, a liberal rewarder of his friends. To royalize his blood, I spent my own.
Aye, and much better blood than his or thine.
In all which time, you and your husband Grey were factitious for the house of Lancaster, and Rivers, so were you. Was not your husband in Margaret's battle and St. Albans slain? For Clarence did forsake her father Warwick, aye, and forswore herself, which Jace you pardon.
Which God revenge.
To fight on Edward's party for the crown and for her meed, poor lord, she is mewed up. Oh, I would to God my heart were flint like Edward's, or Edward's soft and pitiful like mine. I am too childish for this foolish world.
Hie thee to hell for shame, and leave this world, thou Caco-demon. There thy kingdom is.
My lord Gloucester, in those busy days which here you urge to prove us enemies, we followed then our lord, our sovereign king. So should we you, if you should be our king.
If I should be, I'd rather be a peddler. Far be it from my heart the thought thereof.
As little joy, my lord, as you suppose you should enjoy, were you this country's king. As little joy you may suppose in me, that I enjoy being queen thereof.
A little joy enjoys the queen thereof, for I am she, and altogether joyless. I can no longer hold me patient. Oh. Hear me, you wrangling pirates that fall out in sharing that which you have pilled from me, which of you trembles not that looks on me, if not that I am queen. You bow like subjects that, yet that by you depose. You quake like rebels. Gentle villain, do not turn away.
Foul wrinkled witch, what makest thou in my sight?
But repetition of what thou hast marred, that will I make before I let thee go.
Wert thou not banished on pain of death?
I was, but I do find more pain in banishment than death can yield me here by my abode. A husband and a son thou owest me, and thou a kingdom, all of you allegiance. This sorrow that I have by right is yours, and all the pleasure you usurp are mine.
The curse my noble father laid on thee, when thou didst crown his warlike brows with paper, and when thy scorn drew rivers from his eyes, and then to dry them gavest the Duke a clout, steeped in the falseless blood of Rutland. He cursed thee then, from bitterness of soul, denounced against thee all are fallen upon thee, and God, not we, hath plagued thy bloody deed.
So just as God?
So
Queen.
just is God to right the innocent.
Oh, 'tis the foulest deed to slay that babe, and the most merciless that e'er was heard of.
Tyrants themselves wept when it was reported.
No man but prophesied revenge for it.
Northumberland, then present, wept to see it.
What? Were you snarling all before I came, ready to catch each other by the throat and turn you all your hatred now on me? Did York's dread curse prevail so much with heaven that Henry's death, my lovely Edward's death, their kingdom's loss, my woeful banishment, should all but answer for that peevish brat? Can curses pierce the clouds and enter heaven? Why then, give way, dull clouds, to my quick curses, though not by war, by surfeit die your king, as ours by murther, to make him a king. Edward, thy son, that is now Prince of Wales, for Edward our son, that was Prince of Wales, die in his youth, by like untimely violence, thyself a queen for me that was a queen, outlive thy glory, like my wretched self, long mayst thou live to wail thy children's death, and see another, as I see thee now, decked in thy rights, as thou art stalled in mine. Long die thy happy days before thy death, and after many lengthened hours of grief, die neither mother, wife, nor England's queen. Rivers and Hastings, you were standers by, oh, when my son was stabbed With bloody daggers I pray that none may live his natural age, but by some unlooked accident cut off.
Have done thy charm, you hateful withered hag.
Oh, and leave out thee. Oh, stay, dog, for you shalt hear me. If heaven have any grievous plague in store, exceeding those that I can wish upon thee, oh, let them keep it till thy sins be ripe. Then hurl down their indignation on thee, the troubler of the poor world's peace, thy friends suspect for traitors while thou livest, and take deep traitors for thy dearest friends. No sleep close up that deadly eye of thine, unless it be while some tormenting dream affrights thee with a hell of ugly devils, thou elfish marked, abortive, rooting hog. Thou that wast sealed in thine activity, the slave of nature and the son of hell, thou slander on thy heavy mother's womb. Thou loathed issue of thy father's loins, thou rag of honor, thou detested witch.
Margaret! Ha!
I call thee not.
I cry thee mercy, for then I did think thou hadst but called me bitter names.
Why, so I did, but looked for no reply. Oh, let me make the period to my curse.
'Tis done by me, and ends in Margaret.
Thus have you breathed your curse against yourself.
Poor painted queen, vain flourish of my fortune, why strewest thou sugar on that bottled spider, whose deadly web ensnareth thee about? Fool, fool, thou whetst a knife to kill thyself. The day will come when thou shalt wish for me to help thee curse this poisonous bunch-backed toad.
Thus, boding woman, end thy frantic curse, lest to thy harm thou move our patience.
Foul shame upon you! You have all moved mine.
Have done! Have done!
Oh, princely Buckingham, I'll kiss thy hand in sign of league and amity with thee. Now fair befall thee in thy noble house. Thy garments are not spotted with our blood, nor thou within the compass of my curse. Oh, Buckingham, take heed of yonder dog. Look, when he fawns, he bites. When he bites, his venom tooth will rankle to the death. Have naught to do with him. Beware of him.
What doth she say, my lord of Buckingham?
Nothing that I respect, my gracious lord.
What dost thou scorn me for my gentle counsel? And so the devil that I warned thee from, oh, but remember this another day, when he shall split thy very heart with sorrow, and say, poor Margaret was a prophetess, live each of you the subjects of his hate, and he to yours, and all of you to God's.
My hair doth stand.
My hair doth stand on end to hear her curses.
And so doth mine. I muse why she's at liberty.
Oh, I cannot blame her. By God's holy mother, she hath had too much wrong. I do repent my part thereof that I have done to her.
I never did her any, to my knowledge.
Yet you have all the vantage of her wrong. Mary, as for Clarence, she is well repaid. God pardon them that are the cause thereof.
A virtuous and a Christian-like conclusion to pray for them that have done scathe to us.
So do I ever, being well advised. For if I had cursed now, I had cursed myself.
Madam, his majesty doth call for you, and for your grace, and yours, my gracious lord.
Quickly I come. Lords, will you go with me?
We wait upon your grace.
I do the wrong, and first begin to brawl. The secret mischief that I set abroach, I lay into the grievous charms of others. Clarence, who I indeed have cast into darkness, I do beweep her to many simple gulls, namely Derby, Hastings, and Buckingham, and tell them 'tis the queen and her allies that stir the king against the duke my sister. Now they believe it, and withal wet me to be revenged on Rivers, Dorset, Grey. But then I sigh, and with a piece of scripture tell them that God bids us do good for evil. And thus cloak I my naked villainy with odd old ends, stolen forth from holy writ, and seem the saint when most I play the devil. But soft you, here come my executioners. Are you now going to dispatch this thing?
We are, my lord, and come to have the warrant that we may be admitted where he is.
Ah, well thought upon, I have it here about me. But sirs, be sudden in the execution. With obdurate do not hear her plead. For Clarence is well spoken, and perhaps may move your hearts to pity if you mark her.
Tut, tut, my lord. We will not stand to pirate. Talkers are no good doers, but be assured, we go to use our hands and not our tongues.
Your eyes drop millstones where fools' eyes drop tears. I like you, lads. About your business. Go, dispatch.
Oh, we
We will, my noble lord.
Why looks your grace so heavily today?
Oh, I have passed a miserable night, so full of fearful dreams of ugly sights. I would not spend such another night, though 'twere to buy a world of happy days. So full of dismal terror was the time.
What was your dream, my lord, my lady? Pray tell me.
Methoughts that I had broken from the tower and was embarked to cross to Burgundy, and in my company my brother Gloucester, who from my cabin tempted me to walk upon the hatches. And there we looked toward England, and methought that Gloucester stumbled, and in falling struck me that thought to stay him overboard into the tumbling billows of the main. Oh Lord, methought what pain it was to drown.
Oh.
Methought I saw 1,000 fearful wrecks, 1,000 men that fishes gnawed upon, wedges of gold, great anchors, heaps of pearl, all scattered in the bottom of the sea.
Had you such leisure in the time of death to gaze upon these secrets of the deep?
Oh, methought I had, and often did I strive to yield the ghost, but still the envious flood stopped in my soul and would not let it forth.
Waked you not in this sore agony?
No, my dream was lengthened after life. Oh, then began the tempest to my soul. I passed, methought, the melancholy flood with that sour ferryman which poets write of, unto the kingdom of perpetual night. The first that there did greet my stranger soul, a shadow like an angel with bright hair, dabbled in blood, and he shrieked out loud, "Clarence is come! False, fleeting, perjured Clarence that stabbed me in the field by Tewkesbury. Seize on her furies, take her unto torment." With that, methought, a legion of foul fiends environed me, and howled in mine ears such hideous cries that with the very noise I trembling, waked, and for a season after could not believe but that I was in hell. Such terrible impression made my dream.
Oh, marvel, Lord, lady, though it affrighted you. I'm afraid methinks to hear you tell it.
Oh, keeper, I have done these things for Edward's sake. And see how he requits me. Now, keeper, I prithee, sit by me a while. My soul is heavy, and I fain would sleep.
I will, my lady. God give your grace good rest.
Oof.
Oh, who's here?
What? Wouldst thou, fellow? And how camest thou hither?
I would speak with Clarence, and I came hither on my legs.
What, so brief?
'Tis better, sir, than to be tedious. Let him see our commission and talk no more.
I am in this commanded to deliver the noble Duke of Clarence to your hands. I will not reason what is meant hereby, because I will be guiltless to the meaning. There lies the Duke asleep, and here are the keys. I'll to the king and signify to him that I have resigned you to my charge.
You may, sir. 'Tis a point of wisdom. Fare you well.
What, shall we stab him as he sleeps?
No, he'll say 'twas done cowardly when he wakes.
Oh, why, he shall never wake until the great judgment day.
Why, then he'll say we stabbed him sleeping.
The urging of that word judgment hath bred a kind of remorse in me.
What? Art thou afraid?
Not to kill him, having a warrant, but to be damned for killing him, from which no warrant can defend me.
I thought thou had been resolute.
So I am, to let him live.
I'll back to the Duke of Gloucester and tell him so.
Oh, nay, I prithee stay a little. I hope this passionate humor of mine will change. It was wont to hold me, but while one tells 20.
How dost thou feel thyself now?
Some certain dregs of conscience are yet within me.
Remember our reward when the deed is done.
Come, he dies. I had forgot the reward.
Where's thy conscience now?
Oh, in the Duke of Gloucester's purse, huh?
When he opens his purse to give us our reward, thy conscience flies out.
Yeah, 'tis no matter. Let it go. There's few or none will entertain it.
What if it comes to thee again?
I'll not meddle with it. It makes a man a coward. A man cannot steal, but it accuseth him. A man cannot lie with his neighbor's wife, but it detects him. It made me once restore gold that by chance I found.
I am strong-framed. He cannot prevail with me.
Come, shall we fall to work?
Take him on the custard with the hilts of thy sword, and then throw him in the malsy butt in the next room.
Oh, excellent device, and make a sub of him.
Soft, she wakes.
Frank!
No, we'll reason with her. Ratcliffe, no, we'll reason with her.
No, we'll reason with her.
Where art thou, keeper? Give me a cup of wine.
You shall have wine enough, my lord, anon.
Oh, in God's name, what art thou?
A soul, as you are.
But not as I am royal.
No, nor you as we are loyal.
Oh, thy voice is thunder, but thy looks are humble.
My voice is now the king's, my looks mine own.
How darkly and how deadly dost thou speak? Your eyes do menace me. Why look you pale? Who sent you hither? Wherefore do you come?
To murder me.
You scarcely have the hearts to tell me so, and therefore cannot have the hearts to do it. Wherein, my friends, have I offended you?
Offended us you have not, but the king.
I shall be reconciled to him again.
Oh, never, my lord. Therefore, prepare to die.
Oh, are you drawn forth among a world of men to slay the innocent? What is my offense? Where is the evidence that doth accuse me? To threaten me with death is most unlawful. I charge you, as you hope for any goodness, that you depart and lay no hands on me. The deed you undertake is damnable.
What will we do? What we will do, we do upon command.
And he hath commanded. He is our king.
Oh, Rodius' vassals, the great king of kings, hath from the table of his law commanded that thou shalt do no murder. Will you then spurn at his edict to fulfill a man's?
Thou didst receive the sacrament to fight in the quarrel of House of Lancaster.
And like a traitor to the name of God, didst break that vow, and with thy treacherous blade unripped the bowels of thy sovereign son.
Whom thou wasn't sworn to cherish and defend.
How canst thou
urge God's dreadful law to us when thou hast broke it in such dear degree?
Alas, for whose sake did I that ill deed? For Edward, for my brother, for his sake. He sends you not to murder me for this. If you were hired for me, go back again, and I will send you to my brother Gloucester, who shall reward you better for my life than Edward will for tidings of my death.
You are deceived. Your brother Gloucester hates you.
No, he loves me, and he holds me dear. Go you to him from me.
Come, you deceive yourself. 'Tis he that sends us to destroy you here.
It cannot be, for he bewept my fortune and hugged me in his arms and swore with sobs that he would labor my delivery.
Why, so he doth, when he delivers you from this earth, Theraldum, to the joys of heaven.
Make peace with God, for you must die, my lord.
Have you that holy feeling in your souls to counsel me to make my peace with God? And are you yet to your own souls so blind that you will war with God by murdering me? Oh, sirs, consider. They that set you on to do this deed will hate you for the deed.
What shall we do?
Relent and save your souls.
Relent? No, 'tis cowardly and womanish.
Not to relent is beastly, savage, devilish. My friend, I spy some pity in thy looks. Oh, if thine eye be not a flatterer, come thou on my side and entreat for me. A begging prince, what beggar pities not?
Go look behind you, my lord!
Take that! And that! If all this will not do, I'll drown you in the mulsy butt within.
Oh, bloody deed and desperately dispatched. How fain, like Pilate, would I wash my hands of this most grievous murder.
How now? What means thou that thou helped me not? By heaven, the Duke shall know how slack you have been.
I would he knew that I had saved his brother. Take thou the fee and tell him what I say, for I repent me that the Duke is slain.
So do not I. Go, coward as thou art. Well, I'll go hide the body in some hole till that the Duke give order for her burial.
Why, so now have I done a good day's work. You peers continue this united league. I every day expect an embassage from my Redeemer to redeem me hence. And more, to peace my soul shall depart to heaven, since I have made my friends at peace on earth. Hastings and Rivers, take each other's hand, dissemble not your hatred, swear your love.
By heaven, my soul is purged from grudging hate, and with my hand I seal my true heart's love.
So thrive I, as I truly swear the like.
Take heed you dally not before your king, lest he that is the supreme king of kings confound your hidden falsehoods and award either of you to be the other's end.
So prosper I, as I swear perfect love.
And I, as I love Hastings with my heart.
Madam, yourself is not exempt from this. You have been factious one against the other. Wife, love Lord Hastings. Let him kiss your hand, and what you do, do it unfeignedly.
There, Hastings, I will never more remember our former hatred, so thrive I and mine.
Now, princely Buckingham, seal you this league.
Whenever Buckingham doth turn his hate upon your grace and yours, God punish me with hate in those where I expect most love. And when I have most need to employ a friend, and most assured that he is a friend, deep, hollow, treacherous, and full of guile be he unto me. This do I beg of heaven, when I am called in love, to you or yours.
Pleasing, cordial, princely Buckingham, is this thy vow unto my sickly heart? There wanteth now our brother Gloucester here to make the blessed period of this peace.
And in good time. Now here comes Sir Richard Ratcliffe and the Duke.
Good morrow to my sovereign king and queen, and princely peers, a happy time of day.
Happy indeed as we have spent the day, Gloucester, we have done deeds of charity, made peace of enmity, fair love of hate between these swelling, wrong, insensate peers.
A blessed labor, my most sovereign lord. Among this princely heap, if any here by false intelligence or wrong surmise hold me a foe, if I unwillingly or in my rage have aught committed that is hardly borne to any in this presence, I desire to reconcile me to his friendly peace. First, madam, I entreat peace of you. Of you, my noble cousin Buckingham, if ever any grudge were lodged between us.
Oh, no.
I do not know an Englishman alive with whom my soul is a jot more at odds than the infant that is born tonight. I thank God for my humility.
My sovereign lord, I do beseech your highness to take our sister Clarence to your grace.
Why, madam, have I offered love for this? To be so flouted in this royal presence, who knows not the gracious Duke is dead. You do her injury to scorn her course.
Who knows not she is dead? Who knows she is?
Oh, seeing heaven, what a world is this?
Is Clarence dead? The order was reversed.
But she, poor thing, by your first order died. And that winged Mercury did bear some tardy cripple bear the countermand that came too late to see her buried.
A boon, my sovereign.
A boon, my sovereign, for my service done.
I prithee, peace, my soul is full of sorrow.
I will not rise unless your highness hear me.
Oh, then say at once what it is thou requests.
The forfeit, sovereign of my servant's life, who slew today a riotous gentleman, lately attendant on the Duke of Norfolk.
Have I a tongue to doom my sister's death? And shall that tongue give pardon to a slave? My sister killed no man. Her fault was thought, and yet her punishment was bitter death. Who sued to me for her? Who in my wrath kneeled at my feet and bid me be advised? Who spoke of kinsmanship? Who spoke of love? Who told me in the field at Tewkesbury when Oxford had me down? She rescued me and said, "Dear brother, live and be a king." All this from my remembrance brutish wrath hath sinfully plucked, and not a one of you had so much grace to put it in my mind. Oh, but when your carders or your waiting vassals have done a drunken slaughter and defaced, you are straight on your knees for pardon, pardon, and I unjustly too must grant it you. But for my sister, not a one would speak. Oh, come, Hastings, help me to my closet. Oh, poor Clarence.
Ah, this is the fruit of rashness. Mark you not how the guilty kindred of the queen looked pale when they did hear of Clarence's death?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, they did urge it still unto the king. God will revenge it. Come, lords, will you go to comfort Edward with our company?
We wait upon your grace.
Ah, who shall hinder me?
To wail and weep, to chide my fortune and torment myself. I'll join with black despair against my soul, and to myself become an enemy. My lord, thy son, our king, is dead. If you will live, lament. If die, be brief, that our swift winged souls may catch the kings, or like obedient subjects follow him to his new kingdom of ne'er-changing night.
I have bewept a worthy husband's death and lived with looking on his images. But now 2 mirrors of his princely semblance are cracked in pieces by malignant death. And I, for comfort, have but one false glass that grieves me when I see my shame in him. Thou art a widow, yet thou art a mother, and hast the comfort of thy children left. But death hath snatched my husband from mine arms, and plucked 2 crutches from my feeble hands, Clarence and Edward. Oh, what cause have I to overgo thy woes and drown thy cries?
Give me no help in lamentation. I am not barren to bring forth complaints. All springs reduce their currents to mine eyes. My husband, my dear Lord Edward.
Alas for both mine Edward and Clarence.
So dear a loss.
Was never mother had so dear a loss. Alas, I am the mother of these griefs.
Madam, bethink you like a careful mother of the young prince, your son. Send straight for him. Let him be crowned. In him your comfort lives. Drown desperate sorrow in dead Edward's grave, and plant your joys in living Edward's throne.
Sister, have comfort. All of us have cause to wail the dimming of our shining star, but none can help our harms by wailing them. Madam, my mother, I cry you mercy. I did not see your grace. Humbly on my knee, I crave your blessing.
God bless thee and put meekness in thy breast, love, charity, obedience, and true duty.
Amen. and make me die a good old man. That is the but end of a mother's blessing. I marvel that her grace did leave it out.
You, cloudy princes and heart-sorrowing peers, that bear this heavy mutual load of moan now, cheer each other in each other's love. Though we have spent our harvest of this king, we are to reap the harvest of his son. The broken rancor of your high-swollen hates, but lately splintered, knit and joined together, must be preserved, cherished, and kept. Me seemeth good that with some little train forthwith from Ludlow the young prince be fed hither to London to be crowned our king.
Why, with some little train, my lord of Buckingham?
What? Very, my lord. Least by a multitude the new healed wound of malice should break out, which would be so much the more dangerous.
I hope the king made peace with all of us, and the compact is firm and true in me.
And so in me, and so, I think, in all. Yet, since it is but green, it should be put to no apparent likelihood of breach, which haply by much company might be urged. Therefore I say, with noble Buckingham, that it is meet so few should fetch the prince.
And so say I.
Ah, then be it so. Go we to determine who they shall be that shall straight post to London.
My lord, whoever journeys to the prince, for God's sake, let us too not stay at home. For, by the way, I'll sort occasion as index to the story we late talked of to part the queen's proud kindred from the prince.
My other self, my counsel's consultory, my oracle, my prophet, my dear cousin. I, as a child, will by thy direction go. Toward London, then, but we'll not stay behind.
Last night I heard they lay at Stony Stratford, and at Northampton they do rest tonight. Tomorrow or next day they will be here.
Enter the Queen and the Duchess. Duchess, I long with all my heart. I long with all my heart.
I long with all my heart to see the prince.
Here comes a messenger. What news?
Such news, my lord, as grieves me to report.
How doth the prince?
Well, madam, and in health.
Well, what is thy news?
Lord Rivers and Lord Grey are sent to Pomfret, and with them Sir Thomas Vaughan, prisoners.
Who hath committed them?
Well, the mighty Dukes Gloucester and Buckingham.
For what offense?
The sum of all I have disclosed.
I see the ruin of my house. The tiger now hath seized the gentle hind. Insulting tyranny begins to jut upon the innocent, and all is thrown. Welcome, destruction, blood, and massacre. I see, as in a map, the end of all. I will to sanctuary, madam. Farewell.
Stay, I will go with you.
You have no cause.
My gracious lady, go, and thither bear your treasure and your goods. Go, I'll conduct you to the sanctuary.
Welcome, sweet prince.
Welcome, sweet prince, to London, to your chamber.
Oh, welcome, dear cousin, my thoughts sovereign. Oh, the weary May hath made you melancholy.
No, uncle, but our crosses on the way have made it tedious, wearisome, and heavy. I want more uncles here to welcome me.
Oh, sweet prince, the untainted virtue of your years have not yet dyed the world in the world's deceit. No more can you distinguish of a man than of his outward show, which God he knows seldom, never jumpeth to the heart. Those uncles and aunties which you want were dangerous. Your grace attended to their sugared words, but looked not on the poison of their hearts. God keep you from them, and from such false friends.
God keep me from false friends, but they were none.
Ah. My lord, the mayor of London comes to greet you.
God bless your grace with health and happy days.
I thank you, good my lady, and thank you all. I thought my mother and brother York would long ere this have met us on the way. Welcome, my lord. What, will our mother come?
On what occasion, God he knows, not I. The queen, your mother, and your brother York have taken sanctuary. The tender prince would fain have come to meet your grace, but by his mother was perforce withheld.
Ah, fie! What an indirect and peevish course is this of hers! Lord Cardinal, will your grace persuade the queen to send the Duke of York unto his princely brother presently? If she denied Lord Hastings, go with him, and from her jealous arms pluck him perforce.
My lord of Buckingham, if my weak oratory can from his mother win the Duke of York, none expect him here, but if she be obdurate to mild entreaties, God forbid we should infringe the holy privilege of blessed sanctuary. Not for all this land would I be guilty of so great a sin.
You are too senseless obstinate, my lord. You break not sanctuary in seizing him. The benefit thereof is always granted to those whose dealings have deserved the place, and those who have wit to claim the place. The prince hath neither claimed it nor deserved it, and therefore, in mine opinion, cannot have it. Then, taking him from thence that is not there, you break no privilege, nor charter there. Oft I have heard of sanctuary men, but sanctuary children, ne'er till now.
My lord, you shall o'errule my mind for once. Come on, Lord Hastings, we'll go with me.
I go, my lord.
Good lords, make all the speedy haste you may. Say, Uncle Gloucester, if our brother come, where shall we sojourn until our coronation?
Where it think best unto your royal self. If I may counsel you, some day or two, your highness shall repose you at the tower. Then where you please shall be thought most fit for your best health and recreation.
But come, my lord, I go unto the tower.
Bold, quick, ingenious, forward, capable. Oh, he is all the mothers from top to toe.
Well, let them rest. Come hither, Catesby, what thinkst thou? Is it not an easy matter to make William, Lord Hastings, of our mind for the installment of this royal duke in the seat royal of this famous isle?
He, for his father's sake, so loves the prince that he will not be one to aught against him.
What thinkst thou then of Stanley? Will not she?
She will do all in all as Hastings doth.
Well then, no more but this. Go, gentle Catesby, and as if were far off, sound thou Lord Hastings. How he doth stand affected to our purpose. If thou dost find him tractable to us, encourage him, and tell him all our reasons. If he be leaden, icy, cold, unwilling, be thou so too, and break off the talk, and give us notice of his inclination. For we tomorrow hold divided councils, wherein thyself shalt highly be employed.
Commend me to my Lord Williams. Tell him Catesby and his ancient knot of dangerous adversaries tomorrow are let blood at Pomfret Castle.
Yeah.
Now, my lord, what shall we do if we perceive Lord Hastings will not yield to our complots?
Huh? Chop off his head. And look you, when I am king, claim thou of me the earldom of Hereford, and all the movables whereof the king, my brother, was possessed.
I'll claim that promise at your grace's hand.
And look to have it yielded with all kindness.
Enter Hastings.
Cannot my Lady Stanley sleep these tedious nights?
So it appears by that I have to say, he certifies your lordship that this night he dreamt the boar had raised off his helm. Besides, he says there are 2 councils kept, and that may be determined at the one, which may make you and him to rue at the other. Therefore he sends to know your lordship's pleasure, and if you will presently take horse with him, and with all speed post with him toward the north, to shun the danger that his soul divines.
Go, fellow, go. Return unto thy lady. Bid her not fear the separated council. Her honor and myself are at the one, and at the other is my good friend Catesby, where nothing can proceed that toucheth us. Whereof I shall not have intelligence, tell her fears are shallow, without instance. And for her dreams, I wonder she's so simple to trust the mockery of unquiet slumbers. To fly the boar before the boar pursues were to incense the boar to follow us, and make pursuit where he did mean no chase. Go. Bid thy mistress rise and come to me. We will both together to the tower, where she shall see the boar will use us kindly.
I'll go, my lord, and tell him what you say.
Many good morrows to you, my noble lord.
Good morrow, Catesby. You are early stirring. What news? What news in this our tottering state?
It is a reeling world indeed, my lord, and I believe will never stand upright till Richard wear the garland of the realm.
I'll have this crown of mine cut from my shoulders before I'll see the crown so foul misplaced. But canst thou guess that he doth aim at it?
I, on my life, and hopes to find you forward, upon his party for the gain thereof. And thereupon he sends you this good news, that the same very day your enemies, the kindred of the queen, must die at Pomfret.
Indeed, I am no mourner for that news, because they have been still my adversaries, but that I'll give my voice on Richard's side, to bar my master's heirs in true descent. God knows I will not do it, to the death.
God keep your lordship in that gracious mind.
But I shall laugh at this a 12-month hence, that they which brought me in my master's hate, I live to look upon their tragedy.
'Tis a vile thing to die, my gracious lord, when men are unprepared and look not for it.
Oh, monstrous, monstrous! And so it falls out with Rivers, Bowen, Grey, and so 'twill do with some men else that think themselves as safe as thou and I, who, as thou knowest, are dear to princely Richard and to Buckingham.
The princes both make high account of you.
I know they do, and I have well deserved it. Come on, come on. Where is your boar spearman? Fear you the boar and go so unprovided?
My lord, good morrow. Good morrow, Catesby. You may jest on, but by the holy rood, I do not like these several counsels.
My lady, I hold my life as dear as yours, And never in my days, I do protest, was it so precious to me as 'tis now. Thank you. But that I know our state secure, I would be so triumphant as I am.
The lords at Pomfret, when they rode from London, were jocund, and supposed their states were sure. And they indeed had no cause to mistrust. But yet you see how soon the day o'ercast. This sudden stab of rancor I misdoubt. Pray God, I say, I prove a needless coward. Oh, what? Shall we toward the tower? The day is spent.
Go on before. I'll talk with this good
Sir
fellow.
Priest, thank you. Well met, my lord.
Well met, my lord. I am glad to see your honor.
I thank thee, good Sir John, with all my heart.
Enter Buckingham.
What? Talking with a priest, Lord Chamberlain. Your friends at Pomfret, they do need the priest. Your honor hath no shriving work in hand.
Good faith, and when I met this holy man, the men you talk of came into my mind. What, go you toward the tower?
I do, my lord. But long I cannot stay there. I shall return before your lordship thence.
Nay, like enough, for I stay dinner there.
And supper too, although thou know'st it not.
Enter Stanley, Bishop of Ely, Catesby, and Ratcliffe.
Now, noble peers, the cause why we are met is to determine of the coronation. In God's name, speak. When is the royal day?
Is all things ready for the royal time?
It is, and wants but nomination.
Tomorrow, then, I judge a happy day.
Who knows the Lord Protector's mind herein? Who is most inward with the noble Duke?
Your Grace, we think should soonest know his mind.
We know each other's faces. For our hearts, he knows no more of mine than I of yours, or I of his, my lord, than you of mine. Lord Hastings, you and he are near in love.
I thank his grace. I know he loves me well, but for his purpose in the coronation, I have not sounded him, nor he delivered his gracious pleasure any way therein, but you, my honorable lords, may name the time, and in the Duke's behalf I'll give my voice, which I presume he'll take in gentle part.
In happy time, here comes the Duke himself.
My noble lords and cousins all, good morrow. I have been long a sleeper, but I trust my absence doth neglect no great design by which my presence could have been concluded.
Had you not come upon your cue, my lord, William Lord Hastings had pronounced your part, I mean, your voice, for the crowning of the king.
Oh, then my Lord Hastings, no man might be bolder. His lordship knows me well and loves me well. My lord of Ely, when I was last in Holborn, I saw good strawberries in your garden there. I do beseech you, go send for some of them.
Mary and will, my lord, with all my heart.
Cousin Buckingham, a word with you.
Aye.
Catesby has sounded Hastings in our business and finds the testy gentleman so hot that he will lose his head ere give consent his master's child, as he worshipfully terms it, shall lose the royalty of England's throne.
Withdraw yourself a while. I'll go with you.
We have not yet set down this day of triumph. Tomorrow, in my judgment, is too sudden, for I myself am not so well provided as else I would be were the day prolonged.
Where is my lord, the Duke of Gloucester? I have sent for these strawberries.
His grace looks cheerfully and smooth this morning. There's some conceit, or other likes him well, when that he bids good morrow with such spirit. I think there's never a man in Christendom can lesser hide his love or hate than he. For by his face straight you shall know his heart.
What of his heart perceive you in his face, by any livelihood he showed today?
Marry, that with no man here he is offended, for were he had shewn it in his looks.
I pray you all, tell me what they deserve that you conspire my death with devilish plots of damned witchcraft that have prevailed upon my body with their hellish charms.
The tender love I bear your grace, my lord, makes me most forward in this princely presence. To doom the offenders, whose'er they be, I say, my lord, they have deserved death.
Then be your eyes the witness of their evil. Look how I am bewitched. Behold, mine arm like a blasted sapling withered up. And this is Edward's wife, that monstrous witch consort, with that harlot strumpet sure, that by their witchcraft thus have marked me.
If they have done this deed, my noble lord.
If thou protector of this damned strumpet talkst thou to me of ifs, thou art a traitor. Off with his head. Oh, now by St. Paul I swear I will not dine until I see the same. Catesby and Ratcliffe, look that it be done. The rest that love me, rise and follow me.
Mm-hmm.
Woe! Woe for England! Not a whit for me, for I, too fond, might have prevented this. Stanley did dream. The boar did rouse our helms, and I did scorn it in disdain to fly. Oh, now I need the priest that spake to me. Oh, Margaret! Margaret! Now thy heavy curse has lighted on poor Hastings' wretched head.
Come, dispatch. The Duke would be at dinner. Make a short shrift. He longs to see your head.
Oh, bloody Richard, miserable England! I prophesy the fearfulest time to thee that ever wretched age hath looked upon. Come, lead me to the block, bear him my head. They smile at me, who shall shortly be dead.
Halftime! Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to turn it over to my good friend Jen Lanier. Jen!
Hey, how's it going? Oh, you all, this is, wow, what a show. I have always been amazed by the intensity of Richard III, and I'm sure you all are as well. Now, we are going to depart for just a few minutes. We want to give our prompter a chance to get a little water. We want to give our actors the opportunity to visit the necessary if they have to. And of course, you also get the opportunity to take care of whatever needs care. And we, my friends, shall be back in not too many minutes. So hang in there and we will bring the second half of Richard III.
Hello, friends, and welcome back. Gosh, so much has happened. We're so excited to have you back. We have a lot to do, so let's get going. Can I just hear some boos? I mean, Richard, come on, friends. I mean, anyway, okay, we've got a lot to cover, so let's get started. We are ready for Act 2 of The Tragedy of Richard III with the landing of Earl Richmond and the battle at Bosworth Field.
Come, cousin, canst thou quake and change thy color, murder thy breath in the middle of a word, and then again begin and stop again as if thou wert distraught and mad with terror?
Not I can counterfeit the deep tragedian. Speak and look back and pry on every side. Tremble and start at wagging at a straw, at any time grace my stratagems. But what, is Kate begun?
He is. And see, he brings the mare along.
Here's the head of that ignoble traitor, the dangerous and unsuspecting Hastings.
So dear, I loved the man that I must weep. I took him for the plainest, harmless creature, made him the book wherein my soul recorded the history of all her secret thoughts. So smooth. He dabbed his vice with show of virtue. He lived from all attainer of suspects.
Well, he was the covetous, sheltered traitor that ever lived. Would you imagine, or almost believe, were it not that by great preservation we live to tell it, that the subtle traitor this day had plotted in the council house to murder me and my good lord of Gloucester?
Had he done so? What? Think you we are Turks or infidels? Or that we would against the form of law proceed thus rashly in the villain's death, but the extreme peril of the case, the peace of England, our person's safety, enforced us to this execution.
Now, fair befall you, he deserved his death, and your good graces both have well proceeded to warn false traitors from the like attempts.
Yet had we not determined he should die until your lordship came to see his end, because, my lord, we would have had you hear the traitor speak and timorously confess the manner and the purpose of his treasons, that you might have signified the same unto the citizens, who haply may misconster us in him and wail his death.
Oh, but my good lord,
Your grace's word shall serve, as well as I had seen and heard him speak. And do not doubt, right noble princes both, but I'll acquaint our duteous citizens with all your just proceedings in this case.
Go after cousin Buckingham. The mare toward Guildhall hies her in post haste. There at your meetest advantage of the time, infer the bastardy of Edward's children. Nay, for a need, thus far come near my person. Tell them, when my mother was with child of that insatiate Edward, noble York, my princely father, was then at wars in France, and by the true computation of the time, found that the issue was not of his begot. Yet touch of this sparingly, as 'twere far off, because, my lord, you know my mother lives.
Doubt not, my lord, I'll play the orator, as if the golden fee for which I plead were for myself. And so, my lord, adieu.
If you thrive well, bring them to Banyard Castle, where you shall find me, well accompanied with reverend fathers and well-learned bishops.
I go, and towards 3 or 4 o'clock look for the news that the Guildhall affords.
Here is the indictment of the good Lord Hastings. 11 hours I have spent to write it over, for yesternight by Catesby was it sent me, and yet within these 5 hours Hastings lived, untainted, unexamined, free, at liberty. Who is so gross that cannot see this palpable device? Yet who so bold but says he sees it not? Bad is the world, and all will come to naught when such ill dealings must be seen in thought.
How now, what say the citizens?
The citizens are mum. Say not a word.
Touched you the bastardy of Edward's children?
I did, with his contract with Lady Lucy, and his contract by deputy in France. His tyranny for trifles, his own bastardy, as being got, your father then in France, and his resemblance being not like the Duke. Withal, I did infer your lineaments, laid open all your victories in Scotland, your discipline in war, wisdom in peace, your bounty, virtue, fair humility. And when my oratory drew toward end, I bid them that did love their country's good cry, God save Richard, England's royal king!
And did they so?
No. So God help me. They spake not a word, but like dumb statues or breathing stones, stared on each other and looked deadly pale, which when I saw, I reprehended them.
What tongueless bastards were they? Would they not speak? Will not the mayor then, and his brethren come?
The mayor is here at hand. Intend some fear, be not you spoke with, but by mighty suit. And look, you get a prayer book in your hand, and stand between two churchmen, good my lord, and be not easily won to our requests. Play the maid's part, till still answer nay, and take it.
I go, and if you plead as well for them as I can say thee nay for myself, no doubt we'll bring it to a happy issue.
Go, up to the leads. The Lord Mayor knocks. Welcome, my lord. I dance attendance here. I think the Duke will not be spoke withal. Now, Catesby, what says your lord to my request?
He is within with 2 right reverend fathers, divinely bent to meditation, and in no worldly suits would he be moved to draw from his holy exercise.
Return, good Catesby, to the gracious Duke. Tell him myself, the mayor, and the aldermen are come to have a conference with his grace.
I'll signify so much unto him straight.
My lord, this prince is not an Edward. He's not lulling in a lewd love bed, but on his knees at meditation, not dallying with a brace of courtesans, but meditating with two deep divines. Happy were England would this virtuous prince take on his grace the sovereignty thereof. But sure, I fear we will not win him to it.
See where his grace stands between two clergymen.
Two props of virtue for a Christian prince to stay him from the fall of vanity. And see,
just like in the parks, I heard a police car. So what's going on, Buckingham? What's happening?
Well, myself and the mayor and all the aldermen all out in the audience, we all want Richard to be our king, but Richard wants to pray and wants to visit with the holy people at that church across the street from his office. We actually gassed a whole bunch of people to get them out of the way so that Richard could be there with the prayer book and everything.
Got it. Okay, you might be telling us too much. Let's continue from two props of virtue.
Two props of virtue for a Christian prince to stay him from the fall of vanities. And see, a book of prayer in his hand, true ornaments to know a holy man. Famous Plantagenet, most gracious prince, lend favorable ear to our requests, and pardon us the interruption of thy devotion and right Christian zeal.
My lord, there need be no such apology. I do beseech your grace to pardon me, who in earnest service of my God deferred the visitation of my friends by leaving this. What is your grace's pleasure?
Even that I hope which pleaseth God above and all good men of this ungoverned isle.
Oh, I do suspect I have done some offense that seems disgracious in the city's eyes, and that you come to reprehend my ignorance.
You have, my lords. Would it might please your grace on our entreaties to amend your fault.
Wherefore breathe I in a Christian land?
Know then, it is your fault that you resign the supreme seat, the throne, majestical, your state of fortune and your due of birth to the corruption of a blemished stock, which to recur, we heartily solicit your gracious self to take on you the change and kingly government of this your land, not as protector, steward, substitute, or lowly factor for another's gain, but as successively, from blood to blood, your right of birth, your empery, your own. For this, consorted with the citizens, your very worshipful and loving friends, and by their vehement instigation, in this just cause come I to move your grace.
Your love deserves my thanks, but my desert unmeritable shuns your high request. First, if all obstacles were cut away, and that my path to the crown were even as the ripe revenue and due of birth, yet so much is my poverty of spirit, so mighty and many my defects, that I would rather hide me from my greatness. But God be thanked, there is no need of me. The royal tree hath left us royal fruit. On him I lay that you would lay on me.
My lord, this argues conscience in your grace, but the respects thereof are nice and trivial, all circumstances well considered. You say that Edward is your brother's son, and we say so too, but not by Edward's wife, for first was he contracted to Lady Lucy, your mother, lives a witness to his vow, and afterward by substitute betrothed to Bona, sister to the King of France. These both are put off. A poor petitioner, a care-crazed mother to many sons, a beauty waning and distressed widow, made prize and purchase of his wanton eye, seduced the pitch and height of his decree to base declension and loathed bigamy. By her, in his unlawful bed, he got this Edward, whom our manners call the prince. Then, good my lord, take to your royal self this proffered benefit of dignity.
Well, do, good my lord, your citizens entreat you.
Refuse not, mighty lord, this proffered love.
Oh, make them joyful. Grant their lawful suit.
Alas, why do you heap these cares on me? I am unfit for state and majesty. I do beseech you, take it not amiss. I cannot, nor will not yield to you.
You refuse it, as in love and zeal loath to depose the child, your brother's son, as well we know the tenderness of heart. Yet know, where you accept the suit or no, your brother's son shall never reign our king. But we will plant some other in the throne to the disgrace and downfall of your house. And in this resolution here, we leave you. Come, citizens, we will entreat no more.
Call him again, sweet prince. Accept their suit. If you deny them, all the land will rue it.
Will you enforce me to a world of cares? Come back again. I am not made of stone, but penetrable to your kind entreaties, albeit against my conscience and my soul. Since you will buckle on my half, on my back, to bear fortune's burden, whether I will or no, I must have patience to endure the load. But if black scandal or foul-faced reproach attend the sequel of the imposition, your mere enforcement shall acquittance me thereof from all the impure blots you may partly see. Oh, how far I am from the desire of this.
God bless your grace. We see it and will say it.
In saying so, you shall but say the truth.
Then I salute you with this royal title. Long live Richard, England's worthy king.
Amen.
Tomorrow
may it please you to be crowned.
Even when you please, for you will have it so.
Tomorrow, then, we will attend your grace, and so most joyfully we take our leave.
Come, let us to our holy work again. Farewell, cousins. Farewell, gentle friends.
God give your graces both a happy and a joyful time of day.
As much to you, good sister. Whither away?
No farther than the
in good time. Oh, here the lieutenant comes. How doth the prince send my young son of York?
Enter Brakenberry.
Right well, dear madam, by your patience, I may not suffer you to visit them. The king hath strictly charged the contrary.
The king? Who's that?
I mean the Lord Protector.
The Lord protect him from that kingly title? Hath he set bounds between their love and me? I am their mother. Who shall bar me from them?
I am their father's mother. I will see them.
Their aunt?
Their aunt, I am in law, in love their mother. Then bring me to their sights. I'll bear thy blame.
No, madam, no, I may not leave it so. I am bound by oath, and therefore pardon me.
Let me but meet you ladies 1 hour hence, and I'll salute your grace of York as mother, and reverend looker on of 2 fair queens. Come, madam, you must straight to Westminster, there to be crowned Richard's royal queen.
I cut my laces up here, that my pent heart may have some scope to beat, or else I swoon with this dead-killing news.
Oh, despiteful tidings! Oh, unpleasing news!
Oh, my accursed wound, the bed of death! A cockatrice hast thou hatched to the world.
Come, madam, come, I in all haste was sent.
And I with all unwillingness will go. Oh, would to God that the inclusive verge of golden metal that must round my brow were red hot steel to sear me to the brains. Anointed let me be with deadly venom, and dare amen say, God save the queen.
Go, poor soul, I envy not thy glory to feed my humor. Wish thyself no harm.
No, why? When he that is my husband now came to me as I followed Henry's course, this was my wish. Be thou, quoth I, accursed, and when thou west, let sorrow haunt thy bed, and be thy wife, if any be so mad, more miserable by the life of thee, than thou hast made me by my dear lord's death. Lo, ere I can repeat this curse again, within so small a time, my woman's heart grossly grew captive to his honey words, and proved the subject of mine own soul's curse. Besides, he hates me for my father Warwick, and will no doubt shortly be rid of me.
Poor heart to do, I pity thy complaining.
No more than with my soul I mourn for yours.
Go thou to Richard, and good angels tend thee. Go thou to sanctuary, and good thoughts possess thee. I to my grave, where peace and rest lie with thee. 80-odd years of sorrow have I seen, and each hour's joy racked with the week of teen.
Stay, yet look back with me unto the tower. Did he, you ancient stones, those tender paints, whom envy hath immured within your walls, rough cradle for such little pretty ones? So foolish sorrows bids your stones farewell.
Stand all apart. Cousin of Buckingham.
My gracious sovereign.
Give me thy hand. Thus high, and by thy advice, thy assistance is King Richard seated. But shall we wear these glories for a day, or shall they last and we rejoice in them?
Still live they, and forever let them last.
Young Edward lives. Think now what I would speak.
Say on, my loving lord.
Why, Buckingham? I say, I would be king.
Why, so you are, my thrice renowned lord.
Ha! Am I king? 'Tis so, but Edward lives.
True, noble prince.
Oh, bitter consequence, that Edward should still live a noble prince. Cousin, thou wast not wont to be so dull. Shall I be plain? I wish the bastards dead, and would have it suddenly performed. What sayest thou now? Speak suddenly, be brief.
Your grace may do your pleasure.
Tut, thou'rt all ice. Thy kindness freezes. Say, have I thy consent that they shall die?
Give me some breath, some pause, dear lord, before I positively speak in this. I will resolve you herein presently.
The king is angry. See, he gnaws his lip.
I will converse with iron-witted fools. and unrespected boys none are from me. That look in me with considerate eyes, high-reaching Buckingham grows circumspect. You!
My lord?
Yeah. Knowest thou any whom corrupting gold will tempt to a close exploit of death?
I know a discontented gentleman whose humble means match not his haughty spirit. Gold were as good as 20 orators and will no doubt tempt him to anything.
What is their name?
Her name, my lord, is Tyrrell.
Ah, I partly know the one. Go, call her hither. The deep, revolting, witty Buckingham no more shall be the neighbor to my counsels. Hath he so long held out with me, untired, and now stops he for breath? Well, be it so. How now, Lord Stanley, what's the news?
No, my loving lord. The Marquise Dorset, as I hear, is fled to Richmond.
Oh, come hither, Catesby. Rumor it abroad that Anne, my queen, is sick and like to die. I must be married to my brother's daughter, or else my kingdom stands on brittle glass. Murder her brothers and then marry her. Ugh, uncertain way of gain. But I am in so far in blood that sin will pluck on sin. Is thy name Tyrrell?
James Tyrrell, and your most obedient servant.
Art thou indeed?
Prove me, my gracious lord.
Darest thou resolve to kill a friend of mine?
Please you, but I'd rather kill 2 enemies.
Why then thou hast it. 2 deep enemies, foes to my rest and my sweet sleep's disturbers, are they that I would have thee deal upon. Tyrrell, I mean those bastards in the tower.
Let me have open means to come to them, and soon I'll rid you from the fear of them.
Thou singst sweet music, and there knows no more to say. Say it is done, and I will love thee and prefer thee for it.
I will dispatch it straight.
My lord, I have considered in my mind the late request that you did sound me in.
Well, let that rest. Dorset is fled to Richmond.
I hear the news, my lord.
Stanley, he is your wife's son. Well, look unto it.
My lord, I claim the gift by due of promise, for which your honor and your faith is pawned, the earldom of Hertford, and all the movables which you have promised I shall possess.
Stanley, look to your husband. If he convey letters to Richmond, you shall answer it.
What says your highness to my just request?
I do remember me, Henry VI did prophesy that Richmond should be king.
May it please you to resolve me in my suit.
That troublest me. I am not in the vein.
And is it thus? Repays he my deep service with such contempt? Made I him king for this? No. Let me think on Hastings and be gone to Brecknock while my fearful head is on.
The tyrannous and bloody act is done. Most arch deed of piteous massacre that ever yet this land was guilty of. Dighton and Forest, who I did scorn to do this piece of ruthful butchery. Howbeit they were fleshed villains, bloody dogs, melted with tenderness and mild compassion, wept too like children in their death's sad story. Oh, thus, quoth Dighton, lay the gentle babes. Thus, quoth Forrest, girdling one another within their alabaster innocent arms. Their lips were 4 red roses on a stalk, and in their summer beauty kissed each other. A book of prayers lay on their pillow, which one, quoth Forrest, almost changed my mind. But oh, the devil! There the villain stopped. When Dighton thus told on, we smothered their most replenished sweet work of nature that from the prime creation ever she framed. Hence, both are gone, with conscience and remorse. They could not speak, and so I left them both to bear this tidings to the bloody king. And here he comes. All health, my sovereign lord.
Kind Tyrrell, I am happy in thy news.
If to have done the thing you gave in charge beget your happiness, be happy then, for it is done.
But didst thou see them dead?
I did, my lord.
And buried, gentle Tyrrell.
The chaplain of the tower hath buried them.
Ah, come to me, Tyrrell, soon. And after supper, when thou shalt tell me the process of their death, meantime, but think how I may do thee good and be the inheritor of thy desire. Farewell till then.
I humbly take my leave.
The sons of Edward sleep in Abraham's bosom, and Anne, my wife, have bid this world good night. For now I know the Bretagne Richmond aims at young Elizabeth, my brother's daughter, and by that knot looks proudly on the crown. To her I go, a jolly, driving wooer.
My lord.
Huh? What good news or bad that thou comest in so bluntly?
Bad news, my lord. Morton is fled to Richmond, and Buckingham, backed with the hardy Welshman, is in the field, and still his power increaseth.
Ely with Richmond troubles me more near than Buckingham and his rash levied strength. Go, muster men. My counsel is my shield. We must be brief when traitors brave the field.
Here in these confines slyly have I lurked to watch the waning of mine enemies. I will to France, hoping the consequence will prove as bitter, dark, and tragical.
Enter Queen.
My poor princess. My tender mace. If your gentle souls fly in the air, and be not fixed in doom perpetual, hover about me with your airy wings, and hear your mother's lamentation.
Hover about her, say that right for right hath dimmed your infant morn to aged night.
So many miseries have crazed my voice that my woe-wearied tongue is still and mute. Edward Plantagenet, why art thou dead?
Plantagenet doth quit Plantagenet. Edward for Edward pays a dying death.
Who hath any cause to mourn but we?
If ancient sorrow be more reverent, give mine the benefit of seigneury, and let my griefs frown on the upper hand. I had an Edward till a Richard killed him. I had a husband till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst an Edward till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst a Richard till a Richard killed him.
I had a Richard too, and thou didst kill him. I had a
Thou-
Rutland too, thou hopest to kill him.
Thou hadst Clarence too, and Richard killed him. From forth the kernel of thy womb hath crept a hellhound that doth hunt us all to death. Thy womb let loose to chase us to our graves.
O Harry's wife, triumph not in my woes. God witness with me, I have wept for thine.
Bear with me. I'm hungry for revenge. And now I cloy me with beholding it. Thy Edward, he is dead. That killed my Edward, the other Edward dead to quit my Edward, thy Clarence, he is dead. That stabbed my Edward, and the beholders of this frantic play, the adulterate Hastings, Rivers, Bowen, Gray, untimely smothered in their dusky graves. Richard yet lives. Hell's black intelligencer, earth gapes, hell burns, fiends roar, saints pray to have him suddenly conveyed from hence. Cancel his bond of life. Dear God, I pray that I may live and say the dog is dead.
Thou did prophesy the time would come that I should wish for thee to help me curse that bottle spider, that foul bunch-backed toad.
I called thee then, vain flourish of my fortune. I called thee then, poor shadow. Painted queen, oh, where is thy husband now? Where be thy brothers? Where be thy 2 sons? Wherein dost thou joy? Who sues and kneels and says, God save the queen? Decline all this and see what now thou art. For happy wife, a most distressed widow, for joyful mother, one that wails the name, for queen, the very caitiff, crowned with care, for she that scorned it me, now scorned of me. Thus hath the course of justice whirled about and left thee but a very prey to time, having no more but thought of what thou wast. Farewell, York's wife and queen of sad mischance. These English woes shall make me smile in France.
If so, then be not tongue-tied. Go with me, and in the breath of bitter words, let's smother my damned son, that thy 2 sweet sons smothered.
Who intercepts me in my expedition?
Oh, she that might have intercepted thee by strangling thee in her accursed womb.
Tell me, thou villain slave, where are my children?
Thou toad, where is thy sister Clarence?
Where is the gentle Rivers, Vaughan, Gray?
Where is kind Hastings? Thou camest on earth to make the earth my hell. A grievous burthen was thy birth to me. Tetchy and wayward was thy infancy. Thy school days frightful, desperate, wild, and furious. Thy prime of manhood daring, bold, and venturous. Thy age confirmed proud, subtle, sly, and bloody. What comfortable hour canst thou name that ever graced me with thy company?
I be so disgracious in your eye, let me march on and not offend you, madam.
I prithee hear me speak, hear me a word, for I shall never speak to thee again.
So,
either thou wilt die by God's just ordinance, ere from this war thou turn a conqueror, or I with grief and extreme age shall perish, and never more behold thy face again. Therefore, take with thee my most grievous curse, which in the day of battle tire thee more than all the complete armor that thou wearest. My prayers on the adverse party fight. Bloody thou art, bloody will be thy end. Shame serves thy life, and doth thy death attend.
Though far more cause, yet much less spirit to curse abides in me. I say amen to her.
Stay, madam. I must talk a word with you.
I have no more sons of the royal blood for thee to slaughter. For my daughters, Richard, they shall be praying nuns, not weeping queens.
You have a daughter called Elizabeth, virtuous and fair, royal and gracious.
Must she die for this? Oh, let her live, and I'll corrupt her manners, stain her beauty slander, myself as false to Edward's bed. I will confess she was not Edward's daughter.
Wrong not her birth. She is a royal princess.
You save her life. I'll say she's not so.
Her life is seated only in her birth.
And only in that safety died her brothers.
Oh, you speak as if that I had slain my cousins.
Cousins indeed, and by her uncle, cousins of comfort, kingdom, kindred, freedom, life, whose hands whoever lanched their tender's heart, thy head, all indirectly gave direction. My tongue should to thy ears not name my boys till that my nails were anchored in thine eyes.
Madam, so thrive I in my enterprise and dangerous success of bloody wars, as I intend to do more good to you and yours than ever you or yours by me were harmed.
What good is covered with the face of heaven to be discovered that can do me good?
The advancement of your children, gentle lady.
Up to some scaffold, there to lose their heads.
Unto the dignity and height of fortune.
Oh, tell me, what state, what dignity, what honor canst thou demise to any child of mine?
Then no. That from my soul I love thy daughter, and do intend to make her Queen of England.
Oh, then, who dost you mean shall be her king?
What? Even he that makes her queen, who else should be?
What? Thou?
Even so, how think you of it?
Canst thou woo her?
Well, that I would learn of you as being one acquainted with her humors.
Oh, send to her by the man that slew her brothers, a pair of bleeding hearts thereon engrave, Edward and York. Then haply she will weep. If this inducement not move her to love, send her a letter of thy noble deeds. Tell her thou mayst away her sweet Aunt Clarence, her Uncle Rivers, and for her sake, makes quick conveyance with her good Aunt Anne.
You mock me, madam. This is not the way to win your daughter.
There is no other way, unless thou couldst put on some other shape and not be Richard that has done these things.
Look, what is done cannot be now amended. Men shall deal inadvisedly sometimes, which after hours gives leisure to repent. If I did take the kingdom from your sons to make amends, I'll give it to your daughter. If I have killed the issue of your womb to quicken your increase, I will beget the issue of mine blood onto your daughter. A grandame's name is little less in love than is the doting title of a mother. The loss you have is but a son being king, and by that loss your daughter is made queen. Go then, my mother, to thy daughter go. And when this arm of mine hath chastised the petty rebel Dolbane Buckingham, bound with triumphant garlands I will come and lead thy daughter to a conqueror's bed.
What were I best to say? Her father's brother would be her lord? Or shall I say her uncle? Or he that slew her brothers and her uncles? Under what title shall I woo for her?
Say she shall be high and mighty queen.
To veil the title as her mother doth.
Say I will love her everlasting.
But how long shall that title ever last?
Sweetly in force unto her fair life's end.
But how long fairly shall her sweet life last?
As long as heaven and nature lengthens it.
As long as hell and Richard likes of it.
Be eloquent in my behalf to her.
An honest tale speeds best, being plainly told.
Then plainly tell to her my loving tale.
Plain and not honest is too harsh a style.
Your reasons are too shallow.
Oh no,
Quick.
my reasons are too deep and dead. Too deep and shall I toward the strings break?
Not on that string, madam, that is past. Now by my George, my garter and my crown.
Brained, dishonored, and the third usurped.
I swear
by nothing, for this is no oath. If something thou wouldst swear to be believed, swear then by something that thou hast not wronged.
Well, then by myself.
Thyself is self misused.
Now by the world.
Oh, 'tis full of thy wrongs.
My father's death.
Thy life hath it dishonored.
Why then, by heaven?
Heaven's wrong is most of all. What canst thou swear by now?
The time to come.
Thou hast wronged in the time or past. Swear not by time to come, for thou hast misused, ere used, by time ill used, repast.
In her consists my happiness and thine. Without her follows to myself and thee, herself, the land, and many a Christian soul, death, dissolution, ruin, and decay. It must not be prevented, but by this it will not be prevented, but by this. Therefore, dear mother, I must call you so. Be the attorney of my love to her. Urge the necessity and state of times, and be not peevish found in great designs.
Shall I be tempted by the devil thus?
Aye, if the devil tempt you to do good.
Shall I forget myself to be myself?
Aye, if yourselves remembrance wrong yourself.
Yet thou didst kill my children.
But in your daughter's womb, I bury them.
Shall I go win my daughter to thy will?
And be a happy mother by the deed.
I go. Write to me very shortly, and you shall understand from me her mind.
Bear her my true love's kiss. And so farewell. Relenting fool, shallow, changing woman. How now? What news?
Most mighty sovereign, on the western coast rideth a puissant navy to our shores. 'Tis thought that Richmond is their admiral, and there they hull, expecting but the aid of Buckingham to welcome them ashore.
Some light-footed friend post to the Duke of Norfolk, Ratcliffe thyself, or Catesby, where is he?
Here, my good lord.
Catesby, fly to the Duke.
I will, my lord, with all convenient haste.
Ratcliffe, come hither. Post to Salisbury, when thou dost come thither. O dull, unmindful villain, why stayest thou here and goes not to the Duke?
First, mighty liege, tell me your highness's pleasure. What from your grace shall I deliver to him?
Oh, true. Good Catesby, bid him levy straight, the greatest strength of power that he can make, and meet me suddenly at Salisbury.
I go.
What may it please you shall I do at Salisbury?
Why, what wouldst thou do there before I go?
Your Highness told me I should post before.
My mind is changed. Stanley, what news?
Richmond is on the seas.
Oh, there, let him sink, and be the seas on him, white-livered renegade. What doth he there?
I know not, mighty sovereign, but by guess.
Well, as you guess.
Stirred up by Dorset, Buckingham, and Morton, he makes for England, here to claim the crown.
Is the chair empty? Is the sword swayed? Is the king dead, the empire unpossessed? Then tell me, what makes he upon the seas?
Alas, for that, my liege, I cannot guess.
Oh, unless but that he comes to be your liege, you cannot guess wherefore the Welshman comes. Thou wilt revolt, and fly to him, I fear.
No, my good lord. Therefore mistrust me not.
Where is thy power then to beat him back? Are they not now upon the western shore, safe conducting rebels from their ships?
No, my good lord, my friends are in the north.
How cold friends they are to me. What do they in the north, when they should serve their sovereign in the west?
They have not been commanded, mighty king. Pleaseth your majesty to give me leave. I'll muster up my friends and meet your grace where and what time your majesty shall please.
Aye, thou wouldst be gone to join with Richmond. Oh, but I'll not trust thee.
Most mighty sovereign, you have no cause to hold my friendship doubtful. I never was, nor never will be false.
Go then, and muster up your men, but leave behind your son, George Stanley. Look you your heart be firm, or else his head's assurance is but frail.
So deal with him as I prove true to you.
My lord, by sudden floods and fall of waters, Buckingham's army is dispersed and scattered, and he himself wandered away alone. No man knows whither.
I cry thee mercy.
My liege, the Duke of Buckingham is taken. That is the best news. That the Earl of Richmond is with a mighty power landed at Milford is colder news, but yet they must be told.
Away towards Salisbury. While we reason here, a royal battle may be won and lost. Someone take order that Buckingham be brought to Salisbury. The rest, march on with me.
Will not King Richard let me speak with him?
No, my good lord, therefore be patient.
This is All Souls Day, fellow, is it not?
It is.
Well, why then All Souls Day is my body's doomsday. This is the day which in King Edward's time I wished might fall on me when I was found false to his children and his wife's allies. This is the day wherein I wish to fall by the false faith of him whom I most trusted. This All Souls Day, to my fearful soul, is the determined respite of my wrongs. That high all-seer which I dallied with hath turned my feigned prayer on my head and given in earnest what I begged in jest. Thus, Margaret's curse falls heavy on my neck. When he, quoth she, shall split thy heart with sorrow, remember Margaret was a prophetess. Come, lead me, officer, to the block of shame. Wrong hath but wrong, and blame the due of blame.
Fellows in arms, my most loving friends, bruised underneath the yoke of tyranny, thus far into the bowels of the land have we marched on without impediment, and here receive we from our mother Stanley lines of fair comfort and encouragement. In God's name, cheerly on, courageous friends.
Every man's conscience is 1,000 men to fight against this guilty homicide. I doubt not but his friends will turn to us.
He hath no friends, but what are friends for fear, which in his dearest need will fly from him.
All for our vantage, then, in God's name, march. True hope is swift, and flies with swallows' wings. Kings it makes gods, and meaner creatures kings.
Here, Pinch our tents here, even in Bosworth Field. My lord of Norfolk, why look you sad?
Enter Norfolk.
My heart is 10 times lighter than my looks.
Norfolk we must have not. Ah, must we not?
We must both give and take, my loving lord.
Up with my tent. Here I will lie tonight. Where tomorrow? Well, all's done for that. Who hath descried the number of our traitors?
6 or 7,000 is their utmost power.
Why, our battalia trebles that account. Besides, the king's name is a tower of strength, which they upon adverse faction want. Let us lack no discipline, make no delay. For lords, tomorrow is a busy day.
The weary sun made a golden set, and by the bright tract of his fiery car, gives token of a goodly day tomorrow. Give me some ink and paper in my tent. I'll draw the form and model of our battle. The Earl of Pembroke keeps his regiment, good Captain Blunt. Bear my good night to him, and by the 2nd hour in the morning, desire the Earl to see me in my tent. Yet one thing more. Good Captain, do for me. Where is Lady Stanley quartered? Do you know?
His regiment lies half a mile at least south from the mighty power of the king.
If without peril it be possible, sweet Blunt, make some good means to speak with her, and give her from me this most needful note.
Upon my life, my lord, I'll undertake it, and so God give you quiet rest tonight.
Good night, good Captain Blunt. Come, good Oxford, let us consult upon tomorrow's business. Into my tent, the dew is raw, cold.
What is it o'clock?
It is supper time, my lord. It is 9 o'clock.
I will not sup tonight. What is my armor laid into my tent?
It is, my liege, and all things are in readiness.
Oh, good Norfolk. Hie thee to thy charge. Use careful watch. Choose trusty sentinels.
I go, my lord.
Oh, stir with the lark tomorrow, gentle Norfolk.
I warrant you, my lord.
Catesby.
My lord?
To Stanley's regiment. Bid her bring her power before the sun rising, lest her son George fall into the blind cave of eternal night. Radcliffe, about the mid of night, come to my tent and help me to arm me. Leave me, I say.
Enter Stanley.
Fortune and victory sit on thy helm.
All comfort that the dark night can afford be to thy person, noble mother-in-law. Tell me, how fares our noble mother?
I, by attorney, bless thee from thy mother, who prays continually for Richmond's good. Prepare thy battle early in the morning, and put thy fortune to the arbitrament of bloody strokes and mortal starring war. I, as I may, that which I would, I cannot. With best advantage will deceive the time, and aid thee in this doubtful shock of arms. But on thy side, where am I? But on thy side, I may not be too forward, lest being seen, thy brother, tender George, be executed in his mother's sight. Farewell. Adieu. Be valiant and speed well.
Good Lord, conduct her to her regiment. I'll strive with troubled noise to take a nap, lest leaden with slumber pease me down tomorrow, when I should mount with wings of victory. Once more, Good night, kind lords and gentlemen.
Let me sit heavy in thy soul tomorrow. I was washed to death with fulsome wine. Poor Clarence, by thy guile betrayed to death. Tomorrow in the battle think on me, and fall thy edgeless sword, despair, and die. Thou, offspring of the house of Lancaster, the wronged heirs of York do pray for thee. Good angels guard thy battle. Live and flourish.
Let me sit heavy in thy soul tomorrow, Rivers, that died at Pomfret, despair and die. Awake and think our wrongs in Richard's bosom will conquer him. Awake and win the day.
Bloody and guilty, guiltily awake. In a bloody battle end thy days. Think on Lord Hastings, despair and die. Quiet, untroubled soul, awake, awake. Arm, fight, and conquer for fair England's sake.
Dream on thy cousins, smothered in the tower. Let us be laid within thy bosom, Richard, and weigh thee down to ruin, shame, and death. Death, the nephew's soul bids thee despair and die. Sleep, Richmond. Good angels guard thee from the boar's annoy. Live and beget a happy race of kings. Edward's unhappy sons do bid thee flourish.
Richard, thy wife, that wretched Anne, thy wife, that never slept an quiet hour with thee, now fills thy sleep with perturbations. Tomorrow in the battle think of me, and fall thy edgeless sword, despair and die. Thou quiet soul, sleep thou a quiet sleep. Dream of success and happy victory. Thy adversary's wife doth pray for thee.
The first was I that helped thee to the crown. The last was I that felt thy tyranny. Oh, in the battle, think on Buckingham and die in terror of thy guiltiness. I died for hope, ere I could lend thee aid. But cheer thy heart, and be thou not dismayed. God and good angels flight on Richmond's side, and Richard fall in height of all his pride.
Give me another horse, bind my wounds, mercy taste. Soft, they did but dream. Oh, coward conscience, how thou dost afflict me. What? Do I fear myself? There's none else by. Richard loves Richard. That is, I am I. Is there a murderer here? No. Yes, I am. Then fly. What from myself? Good reason why? Lest I revenge. What myself? Upon myself, alas, I love myself. For good deeds that I myself have done unto myself. No, alas, I rather hate myself. For hateful deeds committed by myself, I am a villain, and I am not. I shall despair. There is no creature loves me, and if I die, no soul shall pity me. Wherefore should they, since I myself find in myself no pity for myself?
My lord!
Who's there?
Ratcliffe, my lord. 'Tis I, the early village cock hath twice done salutation to the morn. Your friends are up, and buckle on their armor.
Oh, Radcliffe, I fear.
Fear. Nay, good, my lord. Be not afraid of shadows.
By the Apostle Paul's shadows tonight have struck more fear in the soul of Richard than have the substance of 10,000 soldiers armed in proof by the shallow Richmond. 'Tis not yet turned day. Come, go with me. Under our tents I'll play the eavesdropper, to hear if any mean to shrink from me.
Good morrow, Richmond. How have you slept, my lord?
The sweetest sleep and fairest boding dreams that ever entered into a drowsy head have I since your departure had, my lords. How far into the morning is it, lords?
Upon the stroke of 4.
Why then 'tis time to arm and give direction. Advance your standards, draw your willing swords. God and St. George, Richmond and victory.
Give me a calendar. Who saw the sun today?
Not I, my lord.
Oh, then he disdains to shine. For by the book he should have raised the east an hour ago. A dark day it will be to somebody. Radcliffe!
My lord!
The sun will not be seen today. The sky doth frown and lower upon our army. And not shine today. Why, what is that to me? More than to Richmond. For the self-same heaven that frowns on me looks sadly upon him.
Arm, my lord, the foe vaunts in the field.
Come, bustle, comparison my horse. Call up Lord Stanley, tell her to bring her power. John, Duke of Norfolk, Thomas, Earl of Surrey shall have the leading of the foot of horse. They shall thus be directed. We will follow. In the main battle, whose puissance on either side shall be well winged, our chiefest horse. This, and St. George to boot. What thinkst thou, Norfolk?
A good direction, warlike sovereign.
Go, gentlemen, every man to his charge. Let not the babbling of dreams affright our souls, for the conscience is a word that cowards use, devised at first to keep the strong in awe. Our strong arms be our conscience, our swords our law. March on, join bravely. Let us to pell-mell, in hand, if not to heaven, then to hell. Where stays Lord Stanley? Will she bring her power?
My lord, she doth deny to come.
Off with her son George's head.
No, my lord, the enemy is past the marsh. After the battle, let George Stanley die.
1,000 hearts are great within my bosom. Advance our standard, set upon our foe. Our ancient word of courage, fair St. George, inspire us with spleen of fiery dragons. Upon them, victory sits on our helms!
Rescue, my lord of...
Rescue, my lord of Norfolk. Rescue, rescue. The king enacts more wonders than a man, daring an opposite to every danger. His horse is slain, and all on foot he fights, seeking for Richmond in the throat of death. Rescue for fair lord, or all else the day is lost.
A horse! A horse! My kingdom for a horse!
Withdraw, my lord. I'll help you to a horse.
Villain, I have set my life upon a cast, and I will stand the hazard of the die. I think there be 6 Richmonds in the field. 5 have I slain today instead of him.
A horse! A horse! My kingdom for a horse!
God and your arms be praised. Victorious friends, the day is ours. The bloody dog is dead.
Courageous Richmond, well hast thou acquit thee. Lo, here, these long usurped royalties from the dead temples of this bloody wretch have I plucked off to grace thy brows withal. Wear it, and make much of it.
Great God in heaven, say amen to all. But tell me, is young George Stanley living?
Oh, he is, my lord, and safe in Leicester town, whither, if you please, we may withdraw us.
What men of name are slain on either side?
John, Duke of Norfolk, Walter Lord Ferrys, Sir Robert Brokenbury, and Sir William Brandon.
Inter their bodies as becomes their birth. Proclaim a pardon to the soldiers fled, that in submission will return to us. We will unite the white rose and the red. What traitor hears me and says not amen? England hath long been mad and scarred herself. The brother blindly shed the brother's blood. The father rashly slaughtered his own son. All this divided York and Lancaster. Oh, now let Richmond and Elizabeth, the true succeeders of each royal house, by God's fair ordinance, conjoin together. Now civil wounds are stopped. Peace lives again, that she may long live here. God say amen.
Denise, the tragedy of Richard III with the landing of Earl Richmond and the battle at Bosworth Field. Thanks everyone for joining us. I'll turn it over to my good friend Jen Lanier.
Hey folks, how's it going? Wow, what an amazing play, right? I am so glad that you joined us today. This is one of the things that we adore. We love our Saturday tragedies. We're really having a good time doing this for you all, and we hope that you're enjoying it as much as we are enjoying playing the plays. Again, if you have it in your hearts to help out our professional acting company with your donations, we certainly would appreciate it. Just look at that top part of your screen there, and you'll see a place where you can click to do donations. If you don't care to do that, you can go to opsfest.org, and it'll have some other thoughts about where you can donate, including writing a check and mailing it to us if that's the way you roll. Not a problem. We love playing for you. Don't forget, next week we have an amazing set of plays as well. I'm looking at my list now, and it looks like A Winter's Tale is going to be on Friday the 17th, Othello on Saturday the 18th, and Two Gentlemen of Verona on Sunday the 19th. We hope to see you there. And of course, there's tomorrow, right? There's tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And the play that we are doing tomorrow, drum roll, is Taming of the Shrew. Please join us again for that. We love having you. We love bringing Shakespeare to as many people as we possibly can. Thank you so much. Good night, folks. Have a gorgeous evening.